Between 1 AD and 500 AD, around 100,000 Scandinavians were scattered across small Iron Age villages dealing with near-constant warfare, winters that could kill you, crops that failed more often than anyone wanted, and starvation that was always just one bad season away. It wasn't some romantic past. It was brutal. But these people didn't just survive. They had to be good at everything, every single day, or they didn't make it. So what did life actually look like in one of these villages? Before we start, if these help you sleep or you just listen a lot, likes and comments help me out. I'm also just genuinely curious where people listen from and when. Comment your city and the time. Someone last week said Iceland at 2 a.m. and I'm still thinking about that. Alright, so we're going back to Iron Age Scandinavia tonight, about 2,000 years ago. But first, get comfortable. Seriously. Adjust those pillows. Pull up that blanket, because where we're going, you're going to want to be cozy. Your eyes open to darkness, complete darkness. The first thing you notice isn't what you see, it's what you smell, smoke, thick choking smoke that's been slowly seeping out through the thatched roof all night. It burns your throat a little, makes your eyes water. You're Bjorn, 14 years old. And you're waking up on a pile of straw that's been your bed for as long as you can remember. The straw pokes through your wool tunic, every single piece. You shift, trying to find a position that doesn't feel like sleeping on a bunch of needles, but yeah, no, that's not happening. This is just how it is, how it's always been. Next to you, your little sister is still asleep. Her breath comes out in visible puffs, because it's cold. Really cold, even though it's technically summer. Summer in Scandinavia, 200 AD, which means it's not freezing, just bone-chillingly cold. The fire in the middle of the long house has died down to embers. You can see them glowing faintly, maybe 20 feet away. That fireplace is everything. Light, warmth, cooking. Without it, you'd all be dead by winter. No pressure. You sit up slowly, careful not to wake anyone. Around you, the whole family is sleeping on similar piles of straw. Your mother and father, your two younger siblings, and at the other end of the long house, through a wall of woven branches and clay, you can hear the animals. The cows, the sheep, the pigs, all sharing this one building with you. Unlike your warm bed right now, with its soft mattress and clean sheets. You rub your eyes. They're crusty with smoke residue. Your hair smells like a campfire that's been burning for months. Your skin feels grimy. And here's the thing about that. You haven't bathed in weeks. Nobody has. Water is for drinking and cooking, not for washing your whole body. That would be insane, wasteful. Plus, the village smith told everyone that bathing in winter makes you sick, opens up your pores to evil spirits or something. So yeah, everyone just smells like smoke and sweat and animals. You know that smell in a barn? That thick, heavy animal smell? Imagine living in it. Sleeping in it, eating in it. Welcome to Iron Age Scandinavia. The first low door of the long house is just visible now. The sky outside is turning from black to dark grey. Dawn, time to get up, time to start another day of back-breaking work that might, if you're lucky, keep you alive through the next winter. You stand, your joints cracking, 14 years old, and you already sound like an old man getting out of a chair. The packed earth floor is freezing under your feet. You slip on your shoes, which are basically leather wrapped around your feet with strips of wool cloth. Inside each shoe is a piece of leather to keep out the cold. It helps, a little. The smith made these leather pieces last fall. Took him hours. Charged your father half a wheel of cheese. Everything costs something here. You step carefully around the sleeping bodies. Your little brother shifts, pulling his sheepskin closer. Sheepskins are what you wear when it rains or gets really cold. Wool cloaks most of the time, but when the weather turns bad, you throw a whole sheepskin over your shoulders. Smells great. keeps you alive. That's the trade-off. The fire needs attention. You grab some dried branches from the pile along the wall. The branches are stacked carefully between clay pots full of supplies for winter. Dried peas, grain, nuts collected from the forest. All of it has to last. If it doesn't, you starve. Simple as that. You add the branches to the embers, blowing gently. Smoke billows up, making you cough. The smoke never goes straight up and out through the roof like you'd want. It just kind of hangs there in the air, slowly finding its way out through the thatch. Your mother told you once that in the old days, before iron, people just died from the smoke. Breathed it in all winter and their lungs gave out. But now, with better tools, they can make houses with higher roofs. The smoke has more room to escape. Progress. Outside, you can hear the village waking up, the sound of someone else starting their fire, a dog barking, the distant sound of the fjord, waves lapping against the shore. Your father sits up, sees you tending the fire, nods, doesn't say anything, doesn't need to. You're doing your job. That's all that matters. He stands, joints cracking even louder than yours, and heads to check on the animals. That's the morning routine. Someone tends the fire, someone checks the animals, someone starts preparing food. Every day, no days off, no weekends, just survival. You know what's wild? Back in your time, in your actual warm bed, you might complain about waking up early, about having to go to school or work, about being tired. Here, being tired is just normal. Everyone's tired, all the time. From the moment you can walk, you're working, carrying water, gathering wood, helping with the animals, learning whatever skill will keep you useful, because useless people don't survive. Your mother is up now, moving to the clay oven near the fire. She'll start making bread soon, but first she needs flour, which means someone needs to grind grain. That someone is usually you. She looks at you, jerks her head toward the grain supplies. You know what she means. You grab the quan stone from its spot near the wall. The quan stone is basically 2 round stones. You pour grain into the hole in the top stone, then turn it around and around and around. The grain gets crushed between the 2 stones. Flour comes out the sides. It takes hours. Hours of grinding to make enough flour for 1 loaf of bread. 1 loaf. Your arms are going to be screaming by midday, but hey, at least you'll have bread, maybe, if the grain is good, if it hasn't gotten damp and mouldy, if the weevils haven't gotten into it too much. You brush off the weevils, extra protein, that's what your father says. You try not to think about it. The fire is going strong now. The longhouse is starting to warm up. Just a little. Enough that you can see your breath less clearly. Small victories. Your little sister wakes up, sees you already working, and scrambles to her feet. She's 9, old enough to help with everything. She heads straight for the water buckets near the door. Her job is to fetch fresh water from the stream. In summer, that's not so bad. In winter, when the stream is half frozen and the wind cuts through you like knives, that job is hell, but it's her job, so she does it. Your little brother, 5 years old, is still asleep. He'll wake up soon enough, probably hungry. He's always hungry. Everyone is. But especially kids. Growing takes energy. Energy you don't always have. The chief and his warriors rode past yesterday, coming back from the marketplace by the fjord. They all carried weapons. Swords, spears, bows. The chief had an iron sword. An actual iron sword. Do you know how expensive that is? An iron sword costs more than your entire farm, more than everything your family owns combined. Iron is expensive, like stupid expensive, because yeah, you can find bog iron in the marshes, but getting it out, smelting it, forging it into something useful, that takes time, skill, fuel for the forge. The blacksmith charges a fortune for anything made of iron. Your family has a few iron tools, an axe because you literally can't cut down trees without it, some cooking implements, a few knives, that's it. Everything else is wood, clay, stone or leather. The chief has warriors because these are dangerous times, lots of minor chiefs fighting over territory, over resources, over insults, real or imagined. You have to be on guard, always. Last month, strangers were spotted near the village, riders armed, watching. Were they traders, scouts for a raid? Nobody knows. They disappeared before anyone could find out, but everyone's been a little more careful since then. The men practice with their weapons more often. The boys, even ones as young as 7, are learning to use slingshots. A slingshot is cheap, a leather pouch, 2 strings and a stone, but in the right hands it can kill, or at least injure enough to give you time to run. You've been practicing. Your father says you're getting good. Not great, but good enough that maybe if raiders come, you won't be completely useless. That's the goal. Don't be useless. Around you, the village is fully awake now. Maybe 40 people total, living in a cluster of long houses surrounded by fields. Beyond the fields, pastures where the animals graze during the day. Beyond that, forest. Vast, endless forest. The forest provides berries, nuts, mushrooms, game if you're lucky, but it's also dangerous. Wolves, bears, easy to get lost if you don't know what you're doing. Your mother knows. She can identify which plants are food and which will kill you, which berries are safe and which will make you sick. She's teaching your sister. By the time your sister is your age, she'll know everything too. Knowledge keeps you alive. The village fields are doing okay this year. The grain is growing, but it's been a wet summer, too much rain. The grain is heavy with moisture. If it doesn't dry out soon, if the harvest comes and it's still wet, it could rot. Just rot right there in the field. And if that happens, you don't eat this winter. You don't eat, you starve. You starve, you die. That's the math. Simple, brutal, honest. Last night, your father and the other men sat around the fire, talking in low voices about the harvest, about the weather, about whether they should make an offering to the gods, a big offering. The sacrificial bog is a day's walk from the village. It's where the gods live, where you leave offerings, food, tools, animals. In really bad years, when spring won't come and people are dying, sometimes you offer more. Sometimes you offer a person. Your father didn't say it out loud, but everyone was thinking it. You add more wood to the fire. The flames leap higher. Your mother starts mixing flour with water and salt, kneading it into dough. The smell of fresh bread baking is one of the best smells in the world. It means food. It means survival for another day. But getting to that smell takes work. So much work. You go back to the quonstone, pour in more grain, start grinding, around and around, your arms already aching from yesterday, from the day before, from every day of your entire life. But you don't complain. Nobody complains. What's the point? This is just life. This is how it is, how it's always been, how it'll probably always be, unless the harvest fails, unless raiders come, unless disease sweeps through, unless the gods get angry, unless 100 other things go wrong. But right now, in this moment, you're warm. The fire is going. Your family is alive. There's grain to grind and bread to make. That's not nothing. That's actually kind of everything. Your little sister comes back with the water, her hands red from the cold stream. Your brother wakes up, immediately asking if there's food. Your father returns from checking the animals, reporting that the cow's milk is good, the sheep are fine, one of the pigs might be sick. A sick pig, that's a problem. Pigs are valuable. They turn garbage into meat. If it dies, that's a huge loss. Your father will check on it later, maybe ask the village healer, maybe make a small offering to the gods. Everything is always balanced on a knife's edge here. One small thing goes wrong and everything can fall apart. The The sun is fully up now. The longhouse is as bright as it's going to get, which isn't very bright. The two low doors don't let in much light. Most of the illumination comes from the fire. You keep grinding around and around. Your mother will need enough flour for the whole family. That's maybe 3 or 4 loaves of bread, which means hours more of this. But hey, at least you're not hauling timber or mucking out the animal stalls or working in the forge. Actually, you'll probably be doing all of those things later today because that's how it works. You do whatever needs doing. You learn every skill: grinding grain, tending animals, working leather, making pots, building houses, fighting if necessary, jack of all trades, because you have to be. The blacksmith's assistant is already working the bellows. You can hear the rhythmic whoosh of air being forced onto the forge. Making iron hot enough to work takes constant effort. The assistant, a boy just a year older than you, will work those bellows for hours. His arms will be like tree trunks by the time he's 20, if he lives that long. Accidents happen. Burns, cuts, infections. There's no hospital, no antibiotics. A bad cut can kill you if it gets infected. A burn can do the same. The smith himself is feared a little by everyone. He sits in the darkness of his small workshop, hammering iron into shape. Nobody disturbs him while he works. When he turns a lump of iron into a knife or an axe or a sword, it seems like magic, like witchcraft. Maybe it is. You'll be visiting the smith later today, learning, watching, trying not to get in the way. For now, though, you grind. The grain slowly turns to flour. Your arms burn. Your back aches. The smoke makes your eyes water. But you're alive, you're warm, you have work to do. Not like your soft bed back home, not like your easy life. This is real, this is hard, this is survival, and it's only just begun. By the time you finish grinding, your arms feel like they might fall off. Your mother takes the flour, mixes it with water and salt. Just those 3 things, that's it. No yeast because nobody's figured that out yet. No butter because butter is too valuable to waste in bread. Just flour, water, salt. She kneads it with her hands, strong hands worn rough from years of this exact work. The dough takes shape slowly. She forms it into large loaves, not small ones, big ones, because this has to feed the whole family for days. Meanwhile, the clay oven outside has been heating. Your father lit it before dawn, and now it's hot, really hot. Here's how you bake bread when you're living 2,000 years ago in Scandinavia. You heat the oven with a fire until it's absolutely scorching. Then you pull out all the glowing embers, every single one. The oven stays hot from the clay itself. You put the dough in, close it up, wait. That's it. That's the whole process. If you time it wrong, you get burnt bread or raw dough. If you time it right, you get food. Food that'll keep you alive another week. No pressure at all. Your mother has done this 1,000 times. She knows exactly when to pull the bread out. The smell hits you first. Warm, fresh bread. Your stomach immediately starts growling. "Can I have some?" your little brother asks. He's been awake for maybe 10 minutes and he's already begging for food. "After your father," your mother says, "then you." That's how it works. Father eats first. He's the one doing the hardest physical work. He needs the most energy. Then the kids, then mother, always in that order. Fair, maybe not by your standards, but it keeps the family alive. The person doing the heavy labour needs the most calories. Simple math. You watch your father tear off a chunk of the hot bread. Steam rises from it. He chews slowly, savouring it. Then he nods to you and your siblings. You each get a piece. It's hot enough to burn your fingers. You don't care. It's fresh bread, real, actual food. It tastes like heaven. Unlike the food sitting in your fridge right now, this bread represents hours of work, grinding the grain, making the dough, heating the oven, timing it perfectly. Every bite is earned. You eat it slowly, making it last. Your little brother inhales his piece in about 3 seconds, then looks hopefully at the remaining loaves. Later, your mother says firmly. He sighs but doesn't argue. You don't argue with mother. That's just a rule. After breakfast, your father looks at you. Forest. We need leaves for the animals. Right. Winter forage. It's summer now, but you're already preparing for winter. Always preparing for winter, because winter is when people die. You grab an axe, not the good iron axe. That's for serious tree cutting. This is an older one, stone blade, wooden handle, good enough for chopping branches. Your sister comes too, 9 years old, and she already knows which plants are safe, which leaves the animals like best, where to find the juiciest greens. You head out past the fields, past the pastures, into the forest. The forest is massive, like you could walk for days and not see the end of it. Trees everywhere, oak, ash, birch. The ground is covered in moss, ferns, undergrowth so thick you have to push through it. There, your sister points. Those leaves, the sheep love those. You have no idea how she knows this, but she does. She's been learning from mother since she could walk. By the time she's grown, she'll know every plant in this forest. Which ones heal, which ones kill, which ones the animals need. You start chopping branches, not randomly, carefully. You take branches from different trees, spreading it out so you don't kill any one tree. The forest provides, but you have to be smart about it. Each branch gets bundled together with leather cord. Your sister gathers them into her arms. She's small but strong. Has to be. You hear about the strangers? She asks while you work. Yeah, father mentioned it. Rolf's father thinks they were scouts for a raid. Rolf is your age, lives 3 houses down. His father is one of the chief's warriors. Maybe, you say, chopping another branch. Or maybe traders. Traders don't run away when spotted. She's got a point. You work in silence for a bit. The forest is quiet except for birds. Somewhere far off, a woodpecker is hammering away at a tree. The sound echoes. Are you scared? Your sister asks. About raiders? Honestly? Yeah, you're terrified. You've heard the stories. Villages burned, people killed or taken as slaves, everything you own stolen or destroyed, but you can't say that to your 9-year-old sister. We'll be fine, you tell her. The chief has warriors. We'll see them coming. She nods, but she doesn't look convinced. You gather more branches, enough to fill both your arms and hers. The bundles are awkward and heavy. You carry them back to the village, hang them up to dry in the sun. These leaves will be stored as winter forage. When the snow is too deep and the pastures are frozen, the animals will eat these dried leaves. It's not great food, but it keeps them alive. Everything here is about keeping something alive. The animals, your family, yourself. Next task. Milk. Your mother is already working on it. The cow was milked at dawn, and now the milk is sitting in a clay pot, waiting. Here's the thing about milk in Iron Age Scandinavia. You don't just drink it. Well, you do, but mostly you turn it into other things. Things that last longer. Cheese, for one. Your mother has been treating this milk in a special way, adding something to it that makes it curdle. You're not entirely sure what. Some kind of stomach lining from a calf? She won't tell you, says it's women's knowledge. The curds separate from the whey. The curds become cheese. The whey gets drunk because wasting food is basically a crime. But today, she's making butter. She skims the cream off the top of yesterday's milk. It's thick and rich. She puts it in a small pot and starts whipping it, just whipping it, over and over and over. Your little brother watches, fascinated. When does it turn into butter? When it's ready, your mother says, still whipping. This takes forever. Your mother's arm moves in steady, rhythmic motions. Whip, whip, whip. She doesn't even look tired, just focused. Finally, the cream starts to thicken. It goes from liquid to solid. Butter, actual butter. Your brother's eyes go wide. Can I try some? Your mother gives him the tiniest amount on her finger. He licks it off and his whole face lights up. Butter is expensive, valuable. You don't just eat it whenever you want. It's for trading, for special occasions, for keeping through the winter. But watching your little brother's face, your mother smiles, just a little. She gives you and your sister each a tiny taste too. It's delicious, creamy and rich and nothing like anything else. Back to work, your mother says, but she's still smiling. You spend the afternoon learning to spin wool. This is technically your sister's job, but your mother says everyone should know how. What if your wife gets sick? She asks. You just going to sit there with no cloth? Fair point. She shows you the spindle. It's basically a stick with a weight on the bottom. You hold the raw wool in one hand, the spindle in the other. You spin the spindle with one hand while pulling the wool into a thin thread with the other. Simple, right? Wrong. The wool keeps breaking or getting too thick or tangling. The spindle wobbles and nearly falls. You're terrible at this. Your sister, meanwhile, makes it look easy. Her thread is even and smooth. She's been doing this since she was 5. You're pulling too hard, she tells you, gentle, like you're touching something that might break. You try again. The wool stretches into thread, thin but not breaking. The spindle turns smoothly. Better, your mother says. You keep practicing. It's boring and repetitive and your fingers start to hurt, but slowly, you start to get it. The thread winds onto the spindle. Later, these threads will go onto the loom, the big vertical loom inside the longhouse, with stones tied to the bottom to keep the threads tight. Weaving takes weeks of work to make enough cloth for a single piece of clothing. You think about your closet back home, full of clothes, shirts, pants, jackets, all made in factories by machines, available whenever you want them. Here, one tunic might represent a month of work, shearing the sheep, cleaning the wool, spinning it into thread, weaving the thread into cloth, cutting and sewing the cloth, a month for one shirt. So you take care of your clothes, you mend them when they tear, you wear them until they're literally falling apart, because getting new ones isn't like going to a store, it's like investing months of your life into fabric. Your little brother runs up, out of breath. The potter needs help. The potter is always busy. Clay pots break constantly. People need new ones all the time. For cooking, for storage, for everything. You head over to the potter's workspace. He's an older man, maybe 40, which is basically ancient here. His hands are covered in clay. Need someone to fetch more clay from the pit, he says. The clay pit is just outside the village. You grab a bucket and head over. The pit is basically a hole in the ground where good clay is. You dig down, fill your bucket, haul it back. Simple work, hard work. The potter takes the clay, rolls it into long sausages. He coils these sausages around and around, building a pot from the bottom up. His hands smooth the coils together. Slowly, the pot takes shape. Why not just make it all at once, you ask. He gives you a look. Try it. See what happens. You grab some clay, try to form it into a pot shape. It immediately collapses. Too thin in some places, too thick in others. It looks like a sad blob. The potter chuckles. Exactly. The coil method works. It's slow, but it works. Once the pot is shaped, it has to dry. Completely dry. This takes days. Then it goes into the oven at the back, gets heated until it's red hot, then slowly cooled. If you rush any part of this process, the pot cracks. All that work wasted. So you don't rush. You do it right, because wasting materials means less food stored. Less food stored means starving in winter. Everything connects. Everything matters. The sun is starting to sink lower. The day is maybe half over and you're already exhausted. You've ground grain, helped bake bread, gathered leaves from the forest, learned to spin wool, fetched clay for the potter, and you're not done. There's still water to fetch, animals to check, firewood to gather for tonight, the garden to weed, a dozen other small tasks that keep the household running. Your father is in the timber yard behind the village working on a new long house for a family whose roof collapsed last winter. He and the other men are splitting tree trunks. You watch them hammer wedges into a trunk. The wood splits with a loud crack. They work the wedges in deeper, and the trunk opens like it's been cut with a giant knife. Then they cut planks, even planks. This takes skill, a lot of skill. One wrong cut and you've wasted valuable timber. The new house will be built on a framework of wood, 2 rows of posts running through it. Walls made of woven branches covered in a mixture of clay, chopped straw, and horse manure. Yeah, horse manure mixed with clay for the walls. It makes the clay last longer, keeps it from cracking. It's practical. It also smells exactly how you'd expect horse manure to smell, but you get used to it. You get used to everything here. The smoke, the smell, the cold, the constant ache in your muscles, the hunger that's always there even right after eating. You just adapt because you have to. The boys your age are practicing with staves near the edge of the village, mock fighting, learning how to use a weapon without actually having weapons. Rolf is there. He sees you, waves you over. Come on, we're doing 2 on 2. You're tired, so tired, but you go anyway, because you need to learn this too. The staves are just long sticks, but in a fight, a stick can crack someone's skull, can break bones, can keep you alive. You face off against 2 other boys. They come at you fast. You block one strike, but the other catches you in the ribs. It hurts. A lot. Dead, one of them says, grinning. You try again. This time you're more careful. You watch both of them. When one strikes, you dodge. Use your staff to keep the other one back. It's not pretty, but you're learning. Better, Rolf says. You're not dying as fast. High praise. Some of the younger kids are practicing with slingshots. A boy around 7 is swinging his slingshot around his head, building momentum. He lets go of one string. The stone flies wild, nowhere near the target. Again, his older brother tells him. The kid tries again, and again, and again. That's how you learn here, by doing, by failing, by trying again until you get it right. No school, no teachers in classrooms, just life, just work, just survival. You head back to your long house as the sun gets lower. Your mother has started preparing the evening meal. More bread, some cheese, a bit of dried fish, maybe some vegetables from the garden. The fire is burning bright. The smoke fills the house again, but it's warm. After a long day of work, the warmth feels good. You sit with your family. Everyone's tired. Everyone's dirty and sore. But you're alive. You're together. You have food. For tonight, that's enough. Tomorrow, you'll do it all again, and the day after that, and every day after that until winter comes, and then you'll fight like hell to survive winter, because that's just how it is. That's life in Iron Age Scandinavia, hard, brutal, and unforgiving, but yours. After the evening meal, your father looks at you. Smith wants you. Your stomach drops a little. The smith, right. You've been apprenticing with him for a few months now, learning the trade, watching him turn lumps of bog iron into tools that keep the whole village alive. It's terrifying. You head to the small house at the edge of the village, the smithy. Even from outside, you can feel the heat pouring out of the doorway. Inside, it's dark, except for the forge. The forge glows orange-red, so bright it hurts to look at directly. The heat hits you like a physical thing. The smith is there, hunched over his work. He doesn't look up when you enter, just grunts. That's your cue to work the bellows. The bellows are basically a big leather bag that you pump to force air onto the forge. More air makes the fire hotter, hot enough to work iron. You start pumping. Push, pull, push, pull. The leather wheezes. Air rushes onto the coals. The fire burns brighter. Your arms are already sore from grinding grain this morning, spinning wool this afternoon. Now this. You keep pumping anyway. The smith takes a lump of iron from the forge with long tongs. It's glowing white hot. He puts it on his tiny anvil and starts hammering. Clang, clang, clang. The sound echoes in the small space. Sparks fly with each hit. The iron changes shape under his hammer, slowly, deliberately. He's making a knife. You can see it taking form, the blade getting thinner, the edge getting sharper. Harder, he says, without looking at you. You pump the bellows harder. The fire roars. Sweat pours down your face from the heat. The smith works in silence. He's completely focused. Every hammer strike is precise, controlled. This is a man who's been doing this for 30 years. Nobody in the village disturbs him when he's working. There's something almost sacred about it, watching him turn a formless chunk of metal into a tool that can cut, chop, or kill. It does seem like magic, like witchcraft. He plunges the knife into a bucket of water. Steam explodes upward with a hiss. The knife cools, turning from white to red to grey. Good, he mutters. Might be the most praise you'll ever get from him. He examines the blade, running his thumb along the edge. One wrong move and he'll slice his finger open. He doesn't even flinch. You know why iron costs so much? He asks, suddenly. Because it's rare, you guess. No. Bog iron is everywhere. You can scoop it out of any marsh. You keep pumping the bellows, waiting. It costs because of this. He gestures around the forge. The heat, the fuel, the time, the skill. I can make maybe 3 good tools a week. Maybe. And this village needs hundreds. He puts the knife back in the forge. Every axe, every spear point, every nail, hours of work. And people think I'm cheating them on price. You've heard the complaints. People grumbling that the smith charges too much, that he's getting rich off their labour. But looking around the smithy, the smith doesn't look rich. He looks tired. His hands are scarred from burns, his lungs probably damaged from breathing smoke and metal fumes for decades. How long did you learn before you made your first knife, you ask? 5 years. Made nothing but nails and hooks, the boring stuff. Then my master let me try a blade. He pulls the knife out again, examines it. Broke on the first try. Second try, third try, fourth time, it held. 5 years of learning just to make something that doesn't immediately break. You keep that in mind next time someone complains about the price of iron. Your father paid for this apprenticeship with a cow, the smith says. You know that? You didn't know that? A cow. A whole cow. That's like a massive chunk of your family's wealth. Gone. Just so you could learn this trade. The pressure sits heavy on your chest. Your family sacrificed a cow. You better not waste it. Keep pumping, the smith says. You pump until your arms are shaking, until the sweat is pouring off you, until you think you might actually pass out from the heat. Finally, the smith waves you off. Enough. Get out, come back tomorrow. You stumble outside into the cool evening air. It feels like jumping into a cold stream after being in an oven. Your little brother is waiting outside. Did you make anything? I pumped the bellows. His face falls. That's it? That's the job. He looks disappointed. Probably imagined you forging swords or something cool. Instead, you're just the guy who makes the fire hot. But that's how you learn. You start with the boring stuff, the stuff nobody wants to do. You prove you can handle that. Then maybe, years from now, you get to touch the actual iron. You head back home. On the way, you pass Rolf's house. His mother is outside, looking worried. Have you seen Rolf? She asks. Not since practice earlier. He was supposed to be back an hour ago. That's weird. Rolf's usually pretty good about coming home before dark. Dark is dangerous. That's just a rule. I'll help look, you offer. You and a few other boys spread out, calling Rolf's name. The sun is setting fast now. The sky is turning orange and red. Red sky. The old people say that means the weather is changing. Could be good, could be bad. Hard to tell. You find Rolf near the pasture, watching something in the distance. What are you doing? You call out. He jumps, startled. Thought I saw someone. Out there. He points toward the tree line. You don't see anything, just trees, shadows getting longer. Your mother's looking for you. I know, He trails off. What if those strangers come back? What if they're watching us right now? You look at the tree line again, still nothing but trees and shadows. But he's got a point. If someone wanted to watch the village, scout it out, that's exactly where they'd do it from. Come on, you say, we should tell your father, let the warriors check it out. Rolf nods, but he's still staring at the trees. You walk back together. The village feels different now, less safe. Every shadow could be someone watching, waiting. Rolf tells his father, who tells the chief. Within minutes, 3 warriors are heading out to check the tree line. They come back half an hour later, found nothing, no tracks, no signs of anyone. Probably just a deer, one warrior says, but Rolf's father doesn't look convinced. Double the watch tonight, he tells the other men. That night your family gathers around the fire like always, but there's tension in the air. Everyone's thinking about the strangers, about raiders, about what might happen. Your father checks on the pig that's been sick. It's not doing great, breathing hard, not eating. If it dies, that's a huge loss. Pigs are walking food factories. You feed them scraps, garbage, anything. They turn it into meat. Losing one is like losing a valuable tool. Might need to offer something to the gods, your father mutters. Your mother nods. She's already thinking about it. What they can afford to sacrifice. What might be enough to get the gods' attention, but not so much it puts the family at risk. The whole village operates on this knife edge. Never quite enough, never quite safe. Always one bad season, one raid, one sick animal away from disaster. You sit by the fire, eating your small portion of dinner, bread, some cheese, a few dried peas boiled in water. It's not much, but it's food. Your little brother is already asleep, curled up on his pile of straw. He played hard today, running around with the other small kids. He's out cold. Your sister is mending a tear in your father's tunic. The firelight flickers on her face as she works. She's getting good at sewing. Her stitches are small and even. Tell us a story, she says to your father. Your father considers this. Then he starts talking about the old days. About his father's father who fought in a battle against a neighbouring chief, how the warriors lined up on a field, shields locked together, spears ready, how the fighting lasted all day, how men fell and didn't get back up, how the ground turned red, how his grandfather survived by pure luck. A spear that should have killed him hit his shield instead, bounced off. He lived. The man next to him didn't. Why were they fighting, you ask? Your father shrugs. Someone insulted someone, or maybe it was about land, or a woman. Does it matter? They fought. People died. That's what happens. It's a sobering story, not the fun kind, but it's real. Your mother adds wood to the fire. The smoke swirls up toward the thatched roof, slowly finding its way out. The long house is warm now, almost cozy. Outside, you can hear the wind picking up. The evening sky was red. Now the wind is coming, weather changing. If it rains, that's bad for the grain in the fields. It's already too wet. More rain could ruin it. If it doesn't rain, that's also bad. The grain needs some water, just not too much. You can't win. You just hope. Hope the gods are paying attention. Hope they're in a good mood. Hope your offerings were enough. The old people in the village remember winters when people starved, when the harvest failed and there just wasn't enough food. They rationed what they had, eating less and less each day. Some people didn't make it. The very young, the very old, the already sick. They tell these stories not to scare you. Well, maybe a little, but mostly to remind you, to keep you working, to keep you preparing, because winter is always coming, and winter doesn't care if you're ready or not. Your mother starts talking about the sacred bog, the place where the gods live. She's been there twice in her life. It's strange, she says. You can feel something there, something watching. What did you offer? Your sister asks. First time, a clay pot full of porridge. Second time, a chicken. Did the gods take it? The offerings disappear, whether the gods take them or animals eat them or they just sink into the bog. She shrugs. They're gone. That's what matters. Last winter, someone from the village went to the bog and didn't come back for 3 days. When they returned, they wouldn't talk about what happened, just said the gods were angry. A month later, that person died. Fever, raving about shadows and voices. People said the gods marked them, took something from them at the bog. Your father doesn't believe in all that, or at least he says he doesn't, but he still makes offerings just in case. Better to give the gods something than nothing, he says. Can't hurt. The fire crackles. Sparks drift upward into the smoke. You think about your bed back in your real time, soft and clean, safe, no smoke, no fear of raiders or starvation or angry gods. This life is hard in ways you never really understood before. Every single day is work, real, physical, exhausting work just to stay alive. And even then, you might not make it. The warriors on watch are walking the perimeter of the village. You can hear them calling to each other, checking in, making sure everyone's still there. Rolf is probably lying awake too, thinking about what he saw, or thought he saw. Maybe it was nothing, probably was nothing, but maybe not. Your father banks the fire for the night, covers it with ash to keep the coals alive until morning. Starting a fire from scratch is hard. Keeping one going is much easier. You settle into your pile of straw. It pokes through your tunic like always. The house is cooling down now that the fire is low. You pull your sheepskin closer. It smells like sheep, like lanolin and dirt and animal, but it's warm. Your sister is already asleep. Your little brother is snoring softly. Your parents lie down on their straw pile. Your father's breathing evens out quickly. Your mother stays awake a bit longer staring at the embers. She's probably worrying about the pig, about the harvest, about the strangers, about 1,000 things she can't control. That's what parents do here. They carry the weight, the worry, the fear, so their kids can sleep. You close your eyes, the smoke is thick tonight, your throat feels scratchy, but you're used to it. Tomorrow will be more of the same. Grinding grain, tending animals, learning trades, practicing with weapons, fetching water, gathering wood, every day the same, every day different, every day another battle to survive. But for tonight, you're warm, you're fed, you're alive. The wind howls outside. The rain starts drumming on the thatched roof. Too much rain. The grain in the fields is getting soaked again. Your mother's worry was justified, but there's nothing to do about it now. Nothing to do but sleep and hope and pray the gods are listening. You drift off to the sound of rain and wind and your family breathing in the darkness, still alive, for one more day. That's all you can ask for, really. That's all anyone gets. One more day. Then you fight for the next one. Morning comes with your father shaking you awake while it's still dark. Get up, we're going to the fjord. Your brain is foggy with sleep. What? Marketplace. We need supplies. You're coming. Oh, right, the marketplace. You've only been a handful of times. It's a day's journey there and back. You don't go unless you really need something. Apparently, you really need something. You roll out of your straw pile. Your sister is still asleep. Your mother is already up, packing supplies for the trip. Bread, dried fish, a skin of water. What are we trading, you ask? Cheese, your father says. 3 wheels and some of the butter your mother made. That's a lot. Cheese and butter are valuable. Whatever you need must be important. Outside, other men from the village are gathering. The chief is there with 5 of his warriors, all of them armed, swords, spears, axes hanging from their belts. Your father has his axe, just the one, the iron one. He doesn't have a sword, can't afford a sword, but he's got the axe. And the way he holds it, you get the feeling he knows how to use it. Stay close, he tells you. Don't wander. Keep your eyes open. The group heads out just as the sun is starting to rise, maybe 15 people total, safety in numbers. The path to the fjord cuts through the forest. It's well worn but narrow, trees press in on both sides. This is exactly the kind of place where you could get ambushed. Everyone knows it. That's why the warriors are at the front and back, watching. You walk in the middle with the other younger people. Rolf is here too. His father is one of the warriors. You think they'll attack, Rolf whispers. Who? Whoever was watching the village. If they were going to attack, they probably would have done it by now. Or they're waiting for us to leave, attack while the warriors are gone. You hadn't thought of that. Great. Now you're thinking of that. The walk takes hours. The forest eventually opens up to fields, then rocky terrain, then finally you can smell it. Salt water, the fjord. It's massive, water stretching out so far you can't see the other side. Ships are anchored offshore, small boats pulled up on the rocky beach, and the marketplace. It's just an open area with people gathered, but there must be 50 people here, maybe more, from different villages, different chiefs. Some of them eye your group warily. Your chief nods at a few other chiefs. The warriors size each other up. This is neutral ground. Nobody fights at the marketplace. That's the rule. You fight here, nobody trades with your village ever again. But the tension is thick anyway. Your father heads to a man with a cart full of iron tools, farm implements mostly, a few knives. How much for the scythe? Your father asks. The man names a price. Your father counters. They go back and forth. Finally they agree, 1 wheel of cheese for a scythe, a whole wheel of cheese for 1 tool. But your family needs it. The old scythe broke last harvest. You've been making do, but you need a proper one before the grain is ready to cut. Your father hands over the cheese, takes the scythe, examines it carefully, tests the edge with his thumb, nods. Good iron, the seller says. From the bog 3 valleys over. My brother smelts it himself. Your father doesn't care about the sales pitch. He's already checking the handle, the blade, making sure it's solid. Satisfied, he moves on. Next stop is a woman selling dyed cloth. Your mother wants red fabric. Red dye is expensive, hard to make, but your sister is getting old enough that she needs better clothes. Something nice for when she's married off in a few years. The negotiation takes longer this time. Your mother sent along specific instructions about what she wants and what she'll pay. The cloth seller is tough. She won't budge on price. Finally, your father offers the butter, the good butter your mother made, the stuff that took hours of whipping. The cloth seller examines it, smells it, tastes a tiny bit. Fine, she says, but I'm keeping half the butter and you only get half the cloth. Your father agrees. It's still a good deal. You watch all this and realize something. Nothing here has a set price. Everything is negotiation, barter. What do you have that I want? What do I have that you need? Let's make a deal. Money exists. Roman coins sometimes make it this far north, but mostly it's trade. Goods for goods. While your father is negotiating for some salt, you wander a bit. Not far, just enough to see what else is here. There's a man selling furs, bear, wolf, fox, beautiful pelts that probably took weeks to hunt and tan. There's a woman with jars of honey, actual honey. Your mouth waters just looking at it, but honey is stupid expensive. Only the chief can afford honey. There's a potter with better pots than your village potter makes. Thinner walls, smoother finish, professional work. And there's a boy about your age standing next to a pile of fish, dried fish, preserved for travelling. You want some? He asks. How much? He names a price. You don't have anything to trade. You tell him so. Where are you from? He asks. You name your village. That where those strangers were spotted? Your stomach drops. How do you know about that? Everyone knows. Word travels. 2 riders, armed, watching villages, seen near 3 different settlements in the past month. What do they want? The fish seller shrugs. What do raiders always want? Food, slaves, valuables? They're probably scouting, figuring out which villages are weak, which ones have warriors, which ones are worth hitting. This is not comforting information. Your chief got many warriors? He asks. Enough, you say, trying to sound confident. Better hope so. You head back to your father, tell him what the fish seller said. Your father's jaw tightens, but he doesn't look surprised. I know, he says quietly. Everyone knows. That's why we brought extra warriors today. The chief is talking with another chief near the water. You can't hear what they're saying, but neither looks happy. Your father finishes his trading. He got the scythe, the cloth, some salt, and a new clay pot to replace one that broke. In exchange, he traded all 3 wheels of cheese, the butter, and a fox pelt he'd been saving. Seems like he got the worse end of the deal. But he's got what the family needs. That's what matters. The group gathers to head back. It's past midday now. The walk home will take the rest of the afternoon. On the way back, one of the warriors starts talking about the strangers. I say we hunt them, he says, track them down, kill them before they attack. And if they're just traders, another asks, then they shouldn't be sneaking around watching villages. The chief stays quiet. He's thinking. We wait, he finally says. We watch, we prepare, but we don't attack first, not until we know for sure. Some of the warriors look disappointed. They want action, want to do something. But the chief is being smart. Attack the wrong people and you start a war you might not win. Wait too long and you might get attacked first. No good options, just less bad ones. The walk home is tense. Everyone's scanning the trees, looking for threats. Nothing happens. You make it back to the village just as the sun is setting. Your mother is relieved to see you. Your sister wants to see the red cloth immediately. Your little brother wants to know if you saw any ships. Big ones, you tell him, with sails and everything. His eyes go wide. He's never seen a ship, probably never will unless he goes to the fjord himself one day. That night, your father announces the village is going to slaughter one of the older cows tomorrow. The cow is past its prime. Not giving much milk anymore. Better to turn it into meat and leather now while it's still got some value. The whole village will share the meat. Nothing will go to waste. When morning comes, you're up early again. The slaughter happens in the open area in the centre of the village. It's not pretty. The cow knows something is wrong. It's nervous, pulling against the rope. The chief's best warrior does it. One clean cut, fast. The cow drops. Blood everywhere, on the ground, pooling in the dirt. The smell of it is thick and metallic. Your little brother looks away. Your sister watches, face pale but determined. This is life. You need to see it, need to understand where meat comes from. The men work quickly. They skin the animal right there. The hide comes off in one big piece. That'll be tanned into leather. Then the butchering. Every part gets used. Meat, obviously, but also the organs, the intestines, the bones, the blood. Nothing is wasted. Can't afford to waste. Your mother is right there with the other women, collecting the blood in clay pots. Blood can be used in cooking. Blood sausage. It's protein, it's food. The intestines get cleaned. They'll be used as casings for sausages. The bones will be boiled for broth, then carved into tools, needles, handles, buttons. The hide goes to the tanner. He'll work on it for weeks, scraping off the fat and tissue, soaking it, treating it, turning raw hide into usable leather. You help carry the meat. It's heavy and slippery. You try not to drop it. Each family gets a portion based on their size and status. Your family gets a decent amount, enough meat for maybe a week if you're careful. Your mother immediately starts working on preserving it. Some gets salted, some gets dried, some gets cooked right away before it spoils. The smell of cooking meat fills the village. It's intoxicating. You're so used to bread and cheese and fish. Fresh meat is rare, special. That night, your family eats better than you have in months. Roasted beef, rich and fatty and delicious. Your little brother eats until his stomach is round. He looks like he might explode. Slow down, your mother warns. You'll make yourself sick. He doesn't slow down. Sure enough, an hour later, he's outside throwing up. Told you, your mother says, but she's not mad, just resigned. Kids never listen. Over the next few days, the tanner works on the hide. You watch him sometimes. It's gross, but also kind of cool. He scrapes off all the fat and tissue. It takes hours. His arms must be like iron from doing this his whole life. Then he soaks it in a mixture of water and bark. Something about the bark helps preserve the leather, makes it last longer. After that, he stretches it and works it until it's soft and pliable. Finally, it's ready. Actual leather. Useful leather. Your father commissions a new pair of shoes, winter shoes with thick soles and good leather inserts to keep out the cold. The tanner takes measurements, names his price. Your father pays it. Those shoes will last years if you take care of them. Repair them when they start to wear. Treat the leather to keep it from cracking. Everything here is about maintenance, keeping things working, making things last, because replacing anything is expensive and hard. You can't just buy new stuff. You have to make it, trade for it, barter, negotiate. Every single thing you own represents hours of work, days of work, sometimes months. That night, sitting around the fire, your father tells you about the first time he went to the marketplace. I was younger than you, he says. Maybe 10. My father took me. I thought it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. All those people, all those goods. What did you trade for? You ask. We didn't trade. We were just looking, learning prices, learning what was available. My father was teaching me. He pokes at the fire with a stick. Same thing I'm teaching you now. How to negotiate, how to judge quality, how to tell when someone's trying to cheat you. Did anyone try to cheat you today? 3 people. I caught 2 of them. The third was clever. I didn't realize until we were on the road home. What did they do? Sold me salt that was half sand. I should have tasted it first. Rookie mistake. He doesn't look upset about it, just files it away. Another lesson learned. Next time he'll taste the salt. That's how knowledge works here. You learn by doing, by failing, by getting cheated occasionally and remembering not to let it happen again. No books, no schools, no teachers standing at the front of a classroom. Just life, just experience, just surviving long enough to know better next time. Your mother is working on the loom, the vertical loom inside the long house, with stones hanging from the bottom to keep the threads tight. She's been working on this piece of cloth for 2 weeks, the weft threads going across through the warp threads hanging down. Over, under, over, under. Each row pushed tight with a bone tool. It's slow, tedious, but the cloth is taking shape. Your sister sits next to her, learning, watching the pattern, understanding how it works. In a few years, your sister will be married off to someone from another village. She'll need to know how to make cloth, how to cook, how to preserve food, how to manage a household. All those skills your mother is teaching her now, every day, little by little. Your little brother, meanwhile, is playing with a wooden horse, a toy carved by your father on a long winter night. He's making it gallop across the dirt floor, making horse noises. He's 5. He gets to play, for now. But in a couple years, he'll be working too, learning, contributing. Childhood is short here. You grow up fast or you don't grow up at all. Your father stands, stretches. I'm checking the pig, the sick pig. Right. You'd almost forgotten. You follow him to the animal end of the long house. The pig is lying down, breathing easier now. It's eating again. Not much, but something. Looks better, you say. Maybe. Or maybe it's just the end. They sometimes rally right before they die. Cheerful thought, but the pig makes it through the night, and the next day, and the day after that. Whatever was wrong, it seems to be passing. The pig will live. Your mother makes a small offering at the household shrine, thanks to the gods for their mercy. Your father doesn't say anything, but you notice he nods, satisfied. The gods listened, this time. You lie in your straw pile that night, thinking about everything you saw at the marketplace, the ships, the traders, the goods from far away. This village is small, isolated, but it's part of something bigger, trade networks stretching across the whole region, maybe further. Roman coins make it here sometimes. That means connection to the empire, even if it's distant. Indirect. The world is bigger than this village, bigger than you can imagine. But this village is your world, these people, this life. Hard and brutal as it is, it's yours, and you'll fight like hell to keep it, because that's all you can do. Fight, survive, live one more day, then another, until you can't anymore. The new longhouse is going up fast. Well, fast by Iron Age standards. It's been 3 weeks and they've got the frame up. 2 rows of posts running through where the house will be. Thick wooden posts sunk deep into the ground. Your father has been spending every spare moment working on it, so have most of the men in the village. This is how it works. When someone needs a house built, everyone helps, because next time it might be your house that needs building, your roof that collapses, your family that needs shelter. You help, they help. Everyone survives. Today you're at the timber yard watching your father and the others split more logs. The work is brutal. They hammer iron wedges into the tree trunks. The wood cracks, splits, then they hammer in more wedges, working the split wider and wider until the whole trunk opens up. See how the grain runs? Your father asks, pointing. You follow the grain. Try to split against it. You'll be there all day. You watch him work. Every swing of the hammer is controlled, precise. This isn't just hitting things. This is craft. They cut planks from the split wood. The planks need to be even, same thickness all the way through. That takes skill, real skill. Your father's been doing this for 30 years. He makes it look easy. It's not easy. One of the younger men tries to cut a plank, gets it all wrong. One end thick, the other thin. Totally useless. Again, the chief says. Not angry, just matter of fact. The young man starts over. You haul wood. That's your job today, carrying planks from the timber yard to the building site, back and forth, back and forth. Each plank is heavy, awkward. You're pretty sure you're going to have splinters for weeks, but this is how you learn, by doing the grunt work, by watching, by slowly understanding how everything fits together. The frame of the house is impressive once you really look at it. 2 rows of posts creating the basic structure. Later, walls will go between them. A roof will go on top. But right now, it's just posts and crossbeams, the skeleton of a house. Why 2 rows of posts? You ask Rolf, who's hauling planks next to you. Supports the roof. 1 row wouldn't be strong enough. Whole thing would collapse under the weight of the thatch. He says this like it's obvious. Maybe it is. You're still learning. The walls will be wattle and daub, woven branches covered with clay mixed with straw and horse manure. Yeah, you're going to be mixing horse manure into clay. That's definitely happening. At least it's not pig manure, Rolf says when you mention it. What's the difference? Pig manure smells worse, trust me. One of the men is making wooden nails, actual nails, carved from wood, because metal nails are way too expensive for most of a house. You use metal nails only where you absolutely have to. Everything else, wood. The wooden nails are basically thick pegs, whittled down, shaped to fit tight into holes. How many nails for a whole house, you ask? The man thinks about it. Maybe 200, 300, depends on the size. That's hundreds of wooden nails, each one carved by hand, each one taking time and effort. Nothing here is quick, nothing is easy, everything takes work. By midday, your back is screaming, your hands are covered in blisters, you're exhausted, but the work isn't done. Not even close. You take a break to eat. Bread and water. That's it. The men get a bit of dried meat too because they're doing the heavy labour. You sit in the shade trying to ignore the pain in your hands. Rolf sits next to you. My father says the harvest starts in 2 weeks. The grain ready? Has to be. Any longer and it might rot. Too wet this summer. You both look out at the fields. The grain is heavy, bending under its own weight. It needs to be cut soon, dried, stored. If it rots in the field, that's it. No food for winter. The village starves. What if we can't harvest it all in time? You ask. Rolf doesn't answer right away. Then we will. We have to. That's not really an answer, but it's the only answer that matters. You have to, so you will. There's no other option. After the break, you're back to hauling planks. Your blisters have blisters now, but you keep going. The men start on the rafters, the beams that will hold up the roof. These get tied to the frame with leather rope, not nails, rope. The leather rope is strong, but it has to be tied just right. Too loose and the rafters will shift, too tight and the leather might snap. Your father shows you how to tie the knots, special knots that won't come undone, that'll hold for years. You practice on a scrap of rope, your fingers fumble, the knot comes loose. Again, your father says. You try again. This time it holds. Better. That's high praise from him. By late afternoon, the rafters are up. The basic structure of the house is complete. Tomorrow, they'll start on the walls. You head home as the sun gets low. Your whole body aches. You smell like sweat and sawdust and wood. Your mother has dinner ready. More bread, some of the preserved beef from the cow slaughter, a bit of cheese. You eat like you've never seen food before. Your little brother watches you. You're eating too fast. I'm hungry. You're always hungry. Fair point. After dinner, your father sits you down. The warriors are doing extra training tomorrow. You're joining them. Your stomach drops. Me? You're old enough. You need to learn. The warriors. Real training. Not just boys hitting each other with staves. This is serious. That night you barely sleep. Too nervous. Too keyed up. When morning comes, you're exhausted but wired on adrenaline. The warriors gather just after dawn. 10 of them, plus you and 3 other boys your age. The chief's best warrior is leading the training. His name is Eric. He's maybe 30, covered in scars, and he looks like he could kill you with his pinky finger. You ever been in a real fight? He asks the boys. You all shake your heads. Good, let's keep it that way. But if fighting comes, you need to know what you're doing. He shows you how to hold a spear, not like you'd think. The balance is different, the weight distribution. A spear isn't just for stabbing, he says. You can block with it, trip with it, keep distance between you and your enemy. He demonstrates fast, fluid movements. The spear becomes an extension of his body. Your turn. You practice the movements. Thrust, block, sweep, over and over. Your arms burn. The spear is heavier than it looks. Lower, Eric barks at you. You're standing too high. Get lower. Make yourself a smaller target. You adjust. Your thighs scream from the position. Better. Now hold that while I count to 50. He counts slowly. By 30, your legs are shaking. By 40, you're pretty sure you're going to collapse. By 50, you do collapse. Weak, Eric says, but he doesn't sound disappointed, just stating facts. You'll get stronger. Now get up again. You do it again and again and again. By the end of the session, you can barely stand. Every muscle in your body is on fire. Same time tomorrow, Eric says. Don't be late. You stumble home. Your mother takes one look at you and shakes her head. Warrior training? You nod. You'll live. Probably. Not encouraging. That evening, the whole village gathers in the centre. This happens sometimes. Community meetings, everyone together. The chief stands on a raised piece of ground so everyone can see him. The harvest begins in 10 days, he announces. Everyone works, men, women, children. We cut from dawn to dark. We gather every piece of grain. Nothing gets left behind. People nod. They know the drill. The grain is wet, the chief continues. It needs to dry fast once we cut it. We're building extra drying racks. We're preparing extra storage. He pauses. If anyone is holding back grain from last year, now is the time to admit it. We might need it. Holding back grain is basically theft. You're supposed to report your stores, contribute to the community supply if needed. Nobody speaks up. Either everyone is honest or everyone is a good liar. Fine, the chief says. 10 days. Be ready. The gathering breaks up. People head back to their houses talking quietly. Your mother looks worried. She's been worried a lot lately. It'll be okay, your father tells her. You don't know that. No, but worrying won't help. She doesn't argue, just goes back to her work. That night, you lie in your straw pile thinking about the harvest, about how much depends on it, about what happens if it fails. You've never lived through a failed harvest, but the old people have. They tell stories about it, about eating tree bark, about watching people waste away, about deciding who gets fed and who doesn't, about burying children. You don't want to think about it, but you can't stop thinking about it. Outside, thunder rumbles in the distance. More rain coming. The worst thing that could happen right now. The rain starts just before dawn. Not hard, just a steady drizzle, but it's enough. The grain in the fields gets even wetter, heavy with moisture, bending down under the weight. Your father stands at the doorway of the long house, staring out at the rain. He doesn't say anything, doesn't need to. You all know what this means. The rain continues all day. And the next day, and the day after that. The harvest is supposed to start in a week, but if the grain is this wet, cutting it is pointless. It'll just rot anyway. People start making offerings to the gods, little ones at first. Food, clay pots, small valuables. The rain doesn't stop. Bigger offerings. A chicken from one family, a pig from another. Still raining. The chief calls another meeting. We wait 3 more days. If it doesn't stop, we cut anyway. Wet or not. We'll dry it however we can. 3 days. You spend those 3 days helping finish the new longhouse. The walls are going up. Woven branches plastered with clay and straw. And, yes, horse manure. It's exactly as gross as it sounds. But it works. The mixture dries hard. keeps out the wind and rain, lasts for years if you maintain it. You get covered in the stuff. It's in your hair, under your nails, all over your clothes. Your little brother thinks it's hilarious. You smell like a stable. So do you. We all do. Yeah, but you have it in your hair. You chase him around the village. He squeals and runs, laughing. For a moment things feel almost normal, almost okay. Then you remember the rain, the wet grain, the coming winter, and the moment passes. On the third day, the rain stops. The clouds break up. The sun comes out. Everyone in the village lets out a collective breath. Maybe the gods were listening after all. The grain has 3 days to dry before the harvest begins. 3 days for the sun to bake out some of the moisture. It's not ideal, but it's something. People work faster on the house. Now that the rain has stopped, they want to get the roof on before it starts again. The thatched roof is the last major piece. Bundles of reeds from the bog, laid out in overlapping rows. When it's done right, it keeps out rain and snow. When it's done wrong, you get leaks, drips. Eventually, the whole thing rots. Your father and the other men are careful, methodical. Each bundle of thatch placed just so. You watch and learn. Someday, you might need to do this yourself. Might need to build your own house, keep your own family dry and warm. The knowledge gets passed down, father to son, mother to daughter, generation after generation. The house is almost done, just needs the final touches, the doorways, the internal partitions, the fireplace. But the basic structure is there, solid, strong, ready to shelter a family through the brutal winters. The family moving in is young, a couple just married, expecting their first child. They need a place of their own. The whole village helped build it. Now it's theirs. That's how community works here. You help because someday you'll need help. You give because someday you'll need to receive. It's not charity, it's survival, pure and simple. That evening, the sky turns red again, deep orange and red like fire spreading across the horizon. The old people nod to each other. Weather's changing. For better or worse? Guess we'll find out. You sit with your family around the fire. Your little sister is practicing her sewing. Your brother is playing with his wooden horse. Your parents are talking quietly about the harvest, about supplies, about the winter ahead. Normal life, normal worries, but nothing feels normal. Everything feels balanced on a knife edge. One wrong move and it all falls apart. You pull your sheepskin closer. The fire crackles and pops. Smoke drifts up through the thatched roof. Tomorrow, warrior training again, more house building, more preparing for the harvest, more surviving, one day at a time. That's all you can do. One day, then another, until winter comes, and then you fight like hell to survive that too. Your mother adds wood to the fire. The flames leap higher. Get some sleep, she tells you. Big day tomorrow. Every day is a big day here. Every day matters. You close your eyes, listening to the fire, to your family breathing, to the sounds of the village settling in for the night. Still alive, still together, still fighting. Tomorrow you'll fight again, and the day after that, for as long as it takes, for as long as you can. That's just how it is. How it's always been. How it'll always be. Until it isn't. Harvest day arrives with clear skies. Everyone is up before dawn. The whole village, men, women, children over the age of maybe 6. Everyone who can hold a scythe or rake or carry bundles. The fields are still damp from all the rain, but the grain has dried enough. It has to be enough. Your father hands you a scythe. Not the new one from the marketplace. An older one, duller, but still sharp enough to cut. Stay with the women and children, he tells you. The men will cut, you rake and bundle. The men line up at the edge of the field. Your father, the chief, the warriors, every able-bodied man in the village. They all have scythes. The chief raises his hand, then drops it. The cutting begins. Swish, 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 the sound of blades cutting through grain stalks. Rhythmic, steady. The men move in a line across the field, cutting everything in their path. Behind them, the women and children rake the cut grain into piles. You help bundle it with leather cord, tie it tight, stack it to dry. The work is back-breaking. You bend, rake, bundle, carry, over and over. The sun climbs higher, gets hot. You're sweating through your tunic. Nobody complains, nobody stops. This is survival. You work until the job is done or you drop. Those are the only two options. Your little sister is raking next to you. She's 9 and she's working just as hard as the adults. Her face is red from exertion, but she doesn't quit. Your little brother is too small to help much. He carries water to the workers, running back and forth with a clay pot. His job is important too. By midday, maybe 1/3 of the field is cut. The grain is bundled and stacked. It needs to dry in the sun before it can be stored. "Looking good," one of the men says during the break. "Don't say that," another warns. "You'll jinx it." Superstition runs deep here. You don't celebrate until the work is completely done. You don't count your grain until it's safely stored. You don't tempt the gods by assuming success. You eat a quick meal, bread, water, back to work. The afternoon stretches on forever. Your back screams. Your hands are raw from the rope. Blisters on top of blisters, but you keep going. The men's movements with the scythes are almost hypnotic. Swish, swish, swish. They've been doing this their whole lives. They move in perfect rhythm, no wasted motion, pure efficiency. Your father's face is set in concentration. He's not the strongest man, not the biggest, but he's steady, reliable. He'll keep cutting long after younger men have tired out. By evening, half the field is done, maybe more. The cut grain is bundled and drying. "Good day's work," the chief says. "Same time tomorrow." Everyone trudges home exhausted. You can barely lift your arms. Your whole body is one giant ache. Your mother has soup ready, just vegetables and grain boiled together, but it's hot and filling. You eat 3 bowls. "The grain looks good," she says to your father. He grunts, non-committal, doesn't want to jinx it. That night you collapse on your straw pile and sleep like you're dead, dreamless, complete exhaustion. The next day is the same, and the day after that. Cut, rake, bundle, carry, dawn to dark, every day. Your hands develop calluses on top of the blisters. Your back stops screaming and just settles into a constant dull ache. On the 4th day, the field is done. Every stalk cut, every bundle tied, mountains of grain drying in the sun. The chief walks the field, inspecting, making sure nothing was missed, nothing wasted. He nods, satisfied. Good work. People allow themselves small smiles, small nods, but nobody celebrates. Not yet. The grain needs to dry completely. Then it needs to be threshed to separate the grain from the stalks, then winnowed to remove the chaff, then stored properly. So much work still to do. But the cutting is done. That's something. That night, your father makes an announcement. "I'm going to the bog tomorrow to make an offering." Your mother nods. She expected this. "I'm coming," you say. Your father looks at you, thinking. Then, "Fine, be ready at dawn." The sacrificial bog is a day's walk from the village. You leave early, carrying a clay pot full of porridge and a small wooden figure your father carved last winter. The walk takes you deep into the forest. Deeper than you've ever gone. The trees are thick here, old, the path is barely visible. "How do you know where you're going?" you ask. I've been here before. You remember landmarks, that twisted oak, that boulder shaped like a bear. You pay attention. The forest feels different this far from the village. Wilder, less human. You hear sounds you can't identify, birds you've never heard, something large moving through the underbrush. Your father doesn't seem worried. He just keeps walking. After hours of walking, you smell it. Water, stagnant water, the bog. The trees thin out, the ground gets softer, wetter, and then you see it. The bog is a flat expanse of dark water and vegetation, murky, still. Mist hangs over the surface even though it's midday. It's eerie, you can feel it. Something about this place is different, wrong, sacred. Stay close, your father says. People have gotten lost out here, walked into the bog thinking it was solid ground, sank, never came back up. There are markers placed around the safe areas, stones, wooden posts, showing where you can walk. Your father leads you to a spot near the water's edge. There are remnants of old offerings here, broken clay pots, bits of cloth, animal bones. This is where the gods live? You ask. This is where we come to speak to them. Whether they live here or just listen here, I don't know. He sets down the pot of porridge, places the wooden figure next to it. Then he closes his eyes. Doesn't speak out loud, just stands there, silent. You wait. The mist swirls. The bog water is perfectly still. After a long moment, your father opens his eyes. Done. Let's go. That's it? What did you expect? Thunder and lightning? The gods work quietly, if they work at all. On the walk back, you think about the bog, about the feeling of the place, about whether the gods are real or just stories people tell themselves to feel less helpless. You don't ask your father. Some questions don't have answers. You make it back to the village just before dark, exhausted, hungry, but somehow lighter, like leaving the offering helped, even if it was just psychological. That night, your mother makes a special meal. Not special by your modern standards, but special for here. She used some of the honey she'd been saving, made sweet bread. Your little brother's eyes go wide when he sees it. Honey bread? Forgetting the harvest cut, your mother says. We earned it. The bread is amazing, sweet and rich, and unlike anything you've tasted in weeks, you savour every bite. Your father tells the family about the bog, about the offerings there, about the old stories. My grandfather said that in bad winters they used to offer more than food, he says quietly. Your mother gives him a look. Not in front of the children. But you know what he means. In the worst times when nothing else worked, they offered people sacrifices to make the gods bring spring early, bring warmth, bring hope. You don't want to think about how desperate you'd have to be to do that, to decide that killing someone might save everyone else. But you understand it. In a horrible way, you understand it. When your choice is everyone dies or one person dies, the math is brutal but simple. Your little sister changes the subject. Tell us about the ships at the marketplace. You describe them, the tall masts, the sails, the way they looked against the water. Your brother listens with wide eyes. I want to go on a ship someday. Maybe you will, your mother says, but she doesn't sound convinced. Most people here never travel more than a day's walk from where they were born. Ships are for traders, raiders, rich people, not for farmers' children. The fire burns low. Your father adds more wood. The smoke swirls up toward the roof like always. Outside, you hear the night watch calling to each other, making sure everyone's still there, still safe. The strangers haven't been seen in over a week. Maybe they moved on. Maybe they were, they were never a threat. Or maybe they're just waiting. Your father seems to be thinking the same thing. Eric wants to send scouts, he says to your mother, track the strangers, see where they went. That's asking for trouble. So is sitting here wondering when they'll attack. If they attack, we don't know they're hostile. Armed men watching villages? What else would they be? Your mother doesn't answer. Neither option is good. Wait and potentially get attacked, or go looking and potentially start a fight. Rock in a hard place. The chief will decide tomorrow. Either way, the village needs to be ready. You lie in your straw pile that night, thinking about the bog, about the offerings, about the strangers, about how fragile everything is, how one bad harvest, one raid, one angry god could end everything. But you're still here, still alive. The harvest was cut. The grain is drying. Tomorrow, you'll start threshing, separating the grain from the stalks. More backbreaking work. But it's work that means survival. Work that means eating this winter. You'll take it. The smoke in the longhouse is thick tonight. Your eyes water. Your throat burns a little. But you're used to it. You don't even notice anymore. Not really. This is just life. Smoke and hard work and constant vigilance and small victories celebrated with honey bread. Your little brother is already asleep. Your sister is drowsing. Your parents are talking quietly by the fire. Normal, safe for now. You close your eyes. Let the sounds of home wash over you. The crackling fire, your family breathing, the wind outside. Unlike your soft bed back in your real time, this straw pile is uncomfortable and scratchy. The smell of smoke is in everything. The fear of winter, of raiders, of failed harvests is always there. But this is real. This is honest. This is life without the cushion of modern civilization. Raw, hard, beautiful in its own brutal way. You're learning what it really means to survive, what it costs, what it takes. And tomorrow you'll learn more. You'll work more, fight more, survive more. One day at a time. That's all anyone can do. One day, then another, until you can't anymore. Your breathing slows. Your body relaxes into the straw. The fire dims. The house darkens. The village settles into sleep. Still alive, still fighting, still here for one more night, and tomorrow you'll fight for one more day. That's the deal, that's the bargain, that's life. You accept it, you embrace it, you live it, because there's no other choice. And honestly, you wouldn't want one. This is hard, yeah, but it's yours. Your life, your family, your village, worth fighting for, worth surviving for, worth everything. Sleep comes slowly, then all at once. You dream of fields, of grain, of work, of home. The threshing starts 2 days later. The grain has dried enough. Now you need to separate the actual grain from all the stalks and chaff. This is somehow even more tedious than cutting it. You lay the bundled grain on a flat piece of ground. Then you beat it. Just beat it with sticks until the grain falls out. Sounds simple. It's not. You and Rolf and a few other kids spend the entire morning whacking grain bundles. Your arms hurt. The chaff gets in your eyes, your mouth, your hair. You're covered in dust. This is the worst, Rolf mutters. Better than starving. Yeah, still the worst. The grain that falls out gets collected in baskets. Later, someone will winnow it, toss it in the air so the wind blows away the chaff and the heavier grain falls back down. Everything here has steps, multiple steps. Nothing is ever just done. There's always another phase, another process. By afternoon, you've threshed maybe a quarter of what needs doing. This is going to take days, maybe weeks. But at least the work is rhythmic, almost meditative. Whack, 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 collect the grain, repeat. Your mind wanders. You think about the bog, about the still water and the mist, about whether your father's offering made any difference. You think about the strangers, about whether they're still out there, watching. You think about winter, about whether the grain you're threshing right now will be enough. Stop daydreaming, your mother calls. Keep working. Right back to it. Whack, whack, whack. The women are winnowing the grain you've already threshed, tossing it into the air. The chaff blows away in the breeze. The grain falls into large clay pots. Those pots will be sealed and stored, kept in the long houses along the walls. That grain is life. That grain is winter survival. Your little sister is helping with the winnowing. She tosses the grain, watches it fall. She's getting good at it. The motion becomes natural for her. Your little brother, meanwhile, has found a patch of dirt and is making mud pies. He's supposed to be helping, but nobody has the energy to yell at him right now. He's 5. Let him play while he still can. The chief walks through the working area, observing, making sure everything is going smoothly, making sure nothing is wasted. He stops near your father. They talk in low voices. You can't hear what they're saying, but your father's face is serious, probably about the strangers. Later, after the workday ends, the chief calls a meeting. Again, 3rd one this month. Everyone gathers in the centre of the village, tired, dirty, ready for dinner. But this is important. The chief stands where everyone can see him. The scouts found tracks, 2 riders heading north. Away from here, people murmur, relief mostly. They're gone? Someone asks. For now, could come back, could be scouting a route for a larger force. We don't know. The relief fades a bit. We stay alert, the chief continues. Watch stays doubled. Everyone keeps weapons close, but we're not hunting them. Not yet. Eric, the warrior trainer, looks disappointed. He wanted action, wanted to track them down. But the chief is being smart. Don't start a fight you don't have to fight. Save your energy for defending, not attacking. The meeting ends. People disperse, heading home for dinner and rest. Your family eats together like always. Bread, some dried fish, a bit of the precious cheese. The meal is quiet. Everyone's tired. Your father looks thoughtful. The tracks could mean anything. They're gone. That's good, your mother says. Or they know exactly where we are now. They're reporting back. Your mother doesn't argue. He might be right, but worrying won't change anything. So you eat, you rest, you prepare for tomorrow's work. After dinner, your family sits around the fire. This is the peaceful part of the day. The work is done, the house is warm, the fire is bright. Your father carves while he sits, working on a new wooden cup. He shapes it slowly, carefully, shaving off thin curls of wood with his knife. Your mother is mending clothes. There's always something that needs mending. A tear here, a worn spot there. She sews in the firelight, her needle moving in steady rhythm. Your sister is practicing her letters, sort of. There's no formal alphabet here, but your father is teaching her the basics, how to make marks that mean things, how to keep simple counts. Most people can't read or write, but knowing even a little can be useful. For keeping track of supplies, for marking property, for remembering. Your little brother is already asleep in his corner, sprawled out like he owns the place, dead to the world. The fire crackles, smoke drifts upward. The long house feels cozy tonight, safe. Tell us about the old battles, your sister says to your father. He glances at her. Again? I've told you those stories 100 times. I like them. He sighs, but you can tell he's not really annoyed. He likes telling the stories too. All right. Which one? The one where grandfather fought the chief from across the fjord. Your father sets down his carving, settles back against the wall. All right. So this was before I was born. My father was young then, maybe 20. There was a dispute over fishing rights. Someone's nets got cut. Someone's boat got damaged. Who started it, you ask? Nobody knows. Everybody claims the other side started it. Doesn't really matter. Once it started, it escalated. He pokes at the fire with a stick. The 2 chiefs agreed to settle it with a fight. 10 warriors each side meet in a field. Last side standing wins. How many died? Your sister asks. 6 men total, 3 from each side. My father took a spear to the shoulder but survived. Healed up, still had the scar when he died. Who won? Neither side, really. After 6 men were dead, the chiefs called it off, drew new boundaries for the fishing areas, split it fair, went home. 6 men died for nothing, you ask? 6 men died because nobody wanted to back down. Pride kills, son. Remember that. The fire pops. Sparks drift upward. Your mother adds her own story about the winter when she was a girl, when the harvest failed and food ran low. We ate once a day, she says. Maybe thin soup, mostly water with a few vegetables, bread if we were lucky. How long did it last? Your sister asks quietly. 3 months, from midwinter to early spring. People got thin, weak. 2 of the old folks died. Some children too. She doesn't say how many children. You don't ask. But we survived, she continues. Spring came. The new crops grew. We made it through. Barely, your father adds. Barely still counts. They sit in silence for a moment, remembering, being grateful for this year's harvest, hoping it's enough. The old people always say the same thing. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst, take nothing for granted. Your father goes back to his carving. The wooden cup is taking shape, smooth, even. He's good at this. What will you do with it, you ask? Trade it, maybe, or keep it. Haven't decided. Everything is potential currency here. Everything can be traded. A well-made cup might be worth a meal, or a length of rope, or a favor you'll need later. You never throw anything away. You fix it, reuse it, repurpose it, because making new things takes time and resources you can't spare. Your mother finishes mending your father's tunic, holds it up to the firelight, checking her work. Satisfied, she folds it and sets it aside. Time for sleep soon, she says. Nobody argues. Everyone's exhausted. The work days are brutal right now. Harvest season means pushing hard from dawn to dark. But there's a comfort in the routine, the sameness. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. It's predictable, safe in its own way. Outside, you hear the watch calling. All quiet, all safe. The response comes from the other side of the village. All quiet, all safe. They do this every hour through the night, checking in, making sure nobody's sneaking up, making sure the village is secure. It's reassuring, knowing someone's watching while you sleep. Your father banks the fire, covers it with ash to keep the coals alive until morning. The house dims, shadows grow longer. You settle into your straw pile, the usual discomfort, the usual smell, but it's familiar now, almost comfortable in a weird way. Your sister yawns. Your mother blows out the small oil lamp she'd been using for her mending work. Darkness settles over the long house. Just the faint glow of the banked fire, just the sound of breathing. Your father's voice comes quiet from the darkness. Good work today, everyone. Your mother murmurs agreement. You think about the grain stored along the walls, the pots full of hard-won food, the result of weeks of back-breaking labour. It's enough, probably, maybe, hopefully. You won't know until winter, won't know if you calculated right, if you gathered enough, if you'll make it through. But for tonight, you're warm, fed, safe. That's all you can ask for. Outside, the wind picks up. Autumn is coming. You can feel it in the air. The days are getting shorter. The nights cooler. Winter is always coming, always lurking, always waiting, but you're ready as you can be. The grain is harvested, the meat is preserved, the firewood is stacked, the house is repaired. You did everything right, everything you could. Now it's up to the gods, and luck, and the weather, and 100 other things you can't control. Your breathing slows, your muscles relax. The ache from the day's work fades into the background. Sleep pulls at you, warm and heavy and irresistible. The last thing you hear is your father's quiet breathing, steady, calm, the sound of someone who's done this 1,000 times, who knows how to survive, who'll teach you everything he knows. You're lucky, luckier than you realize. You have family, shelter, food, knowledge. You have a fighting chance. That's all anyone gets here, a fighting chance. You take it, you live it, you survive it, one day at a time, one night at a time, just like this. The darkness is complete now, the fire just barely glowing, the smoke hanging thick in the air. But you don't notice. You're already drifting, already falling into sleep. Tomorrow will bring more work, more threshing, more winnowing, more preparing. But tomorrow is tomorrow. Tonight you rest. Tonight you're safe. Tonight you're home. And that's enough. More than enough. Everything you need. Your eyes close. Your breathing deepens. The village sleeps around you, 40 people in their long houses, all surviving together, all fighting together, all making it work somehow against all odds. You sleep deep and dreamless, the sleep of the exhausted, the sleep of the grateful, the sleep of the survivor. And outside, the watch keeps calling, all quiet, all safe, all through the night, protecting, watching, guarding, while you sleep, while you rest, while you gather strength for tomorrow, for winter, for whatever comes next. The fire dims, the night deepens, the village rests, still alive, still fighting, still here. The grain is finally stored, every last kernel, sealed in clay pots, lined up along the walls of every long house in the village, heavy pots that represent months of survival. You stand back and look at them, dozens of pots, full of grain, food for the winter. It's done. Your father stands next to you, also looking. He doesn't say anything, just nods once, satisfied. Your mother runs her hand along the top of one pot, like she's making sure it's real, that it's actually there. Enough? You ask quietly. We'll find out, your father says, but he doesn't sound worried, just realistic. The harvest is in, the work is done. Now comes the waiting, the winter, the test. But for today, there's a kind of peace, a completion. The village feels different tonight. Lighter somehow, like everyone is breathing easier. The chief calls a gathering, not a meeting this time, just a gathering. The whole village in the centre as the sun sets. We did well, the chief says. Simple words, but they carry weight. The harvest is in, we're prepared. We survived another year. People nod. Quiet satisfaction. No cheering, no celebration, just acknowledgement. Tomorrow we rest, the chief continues. One day, no work, just rest. This gets a reaction. People smile. A full day of rest is rare, almost unheard of. We earned it, the chief says. Enjoy it. The gathering breaks up slowly, people talking quietly, making plans for tomorrow's rest, what they'll do with a whole day of nothing. Your family heads back to the long house. Your little brother is practically bouncing. A whole day? Really? Really, your mother confirms. Can I play all day? You can play all day. He runs ahead, already planning elaborate games with his wooden horse. That night, dinner feels different, special. Your mother makes a proper stew, uses some of the preserved beef, adds vegetables from the garden, seasons it with herbs she's been saving. It smells amazing, tastes even better. You eat slowly, savouring it. This might be the last good meal before winter rations start, before you're counting every bite, stretching supplies. But tonight, you eat well, you enjoy it. Your father tells more stories about his childhood, about learning to farm, about his own father teaching him everything he knows. I was terrible at first, he admits. Broke more tools than I used properly. Your grandfather had the patience of a saint. What happened to him? Your little brother asks. Died in a hard winter. I was 17, had to take over the farm, take care of my mother and sister. He pokes at the fire. Grew up fast that year. Your mother adds her own memories about learning to weave, to cook, to preserve food, skills passed down from her mother. I thought I knew everything, she says. Then I got married, moved here, realized I knew nothing. You figured it out, your father says. We figured it out. Together. They look at each other across the fire. A quiet moment. Years of partnership. Survival. Building a life. Your sister asks about the ships again. She's fascinated by them. The idea of travelling, seeing other places. Maybe someday I'll see one, she says. Maybe, your mother says gently, but life here is good too. Different doesn't always mean better. Your sister nods, but you can see it in her eyes. The wondering, the curiosity about what's out there. You understand. You feel it too sometimes, the sense that there's a bigger world beyond the forest, beyond the village. But this is your world, these people, this life. Hard as it is, it's yours. The fire burns steady, the smoke drifts upward, the long house is warm and quiet and safe. Outside, the evening sky is clear, stars starting to appear. The air is cool but not cold, autumn settling in gently. Your father goes to check on the animals one last time. The cows are settled, the sheep are quiet, the pigs are sleeping, everything is peaceful. When he comes back, he sits heavily on his straw pile, tired but content. Good day, he mutters. Good year, your mother corrects. He smiles. Good year. Your little brother is already asleep, clutching his wooden horse. Your sister is drowsing by the fire. The work is done. The harvest is in. The village is safe. For now, everything is okay. Your mother banks the fire low, just enough to keep coals for morning. The house darkens, shadows settle. You lie in your straw pile, feeling the familiar poke of stems, smelling the familiar smoke, hearing the familiar sounds of your family settling in for sleep. It's not comfortable by modern standards, not soft, not clean, not easy, but it's home. And after everything you've learned, everything you've done, everything you've survived, you understand what home really means. It's not about comfort, not about convenience. It's about people, family, community, working together to survive, supporting each other through the hard times. It's about knowing your place, your role, your value. It's about being part of something bigger than yourself. The village sleeps around you, 40 people in their longhouses, each family with their own struggles, their own stories, their own survival, but all connected, all working together, all making it work. You think about your real bed, your real time, the soft mattress, the clean sheets, the climate control, the refrigerator full of food, the grocery stores, the hospitals, the safety, all the things you take for granted, all the things that make life easy, and you feel a wave of gratitude, deep and overwhelming, for everything you have, everything that makes survival automatic rather than a daily struggle. But you also feel something else, respect, deep respect for these people, for this life, for what it takes to survive without all those modern conveniences. They're not less than you. They're not primitive or backwards. They're survivors, warriors, experts in a way of life that demands everything from them. They work harder in a day than most modern people work in a week. They know skills that are lost to time. They understand nature in ways you never could. They live with uncertainty, with danger, with hardship, and they do it with grace, with strength, with community. The longhouse is quiet now, just breathing, just the crackle of dying embers, your father's steady breath, your mother's softer one, your siblings deeply asleep, safe, together, alive. You've learned so much about work, about survival, about what it really takes to live when nothing is guaranteed, about the value of food, of shelter, of family, about the strength it takes to face each day knowing it might not go well and doing it anyway because you have to, because that's life. The straw beneath you doesn't feel as uncomfortable anymore. Your body has adapted, gotten used to it. The smoke doesn't burn your throat as much. You breathe it without thinking. The cold doesn't bother you like it did at first. You've learned to conserve warmth, to wrap yourself right, to settle in. You've adapted. Just like they do, just like humans always do. We survive, we adapt, we continue, generation after generation, through ice ages and plagues and wars and famines. We keep going. These people in this village in Iron Age Scandinavia, they're part of that story, part of that endless chain of survival. And so are you, in your own time, in your own way. Different challenges, different tools, different threats, but the same core truth. Keep going, keep fighting, keep surviving. Your breathing slows, deepens, your muscles relax completely. The warmth from the fire, even banked low, surrounds you, holds you. Outside, the watch calls one last time. All quiet, all safe. The response echoes back. All quiet, all safe. And it is, for tonight, for this moment. All quiet, all safe. Your family breathing around you. The village sleeping peacefully, the harvest stored, the preparations complete, ready for whatever comes, together, strong, alive. Your eyes grow heavy. The darkness is complete and comfortable now. Not scary, just peaceful, just rest. You've earned it. The village has earned it. All that work, all that effort, all that survival. Tomorrow you'll rest, really rest, play, laugh, enjoy being alive. But tonight you sleep, deep, peaceful, grateful for this life, this experience, this understanding, for the knowledge of what survival really means, what it costs, what it takes. For the appreciation of everything you have in your real time, every convenience, every safety, every comfort. You'll never take them for granted again. You'll never forget what you learned here, the value of work, of community, of resilience, of home. Your breathing matches your father's now, slow, steady, the rhythm of sleep. The fire glows faintly, the smoke drifts, the village rests, and you rest with it, part of it, connected to it, learning from it. These people, this life, this harsh, beautiful, honest existence, you understand now, you really understand, and as you drift off to sleep, surrounded by the warmth of family and home, you carry that understanding with you, into dreams, into rest, into the peaceful darkness, safe, warm, together, just as it should be, just as it's always been, just as it will always be. People surviving together against the odds, finding moments of peace, of joy, of rest, in between the hard work, the struggle, the fight. These moments matter, these peaceful evenings, these quiet nights. They're what you're fighting for, what you're surviving for, not just to stay alive, but to live, to have these moments, these connections, this peace. And now, in your own warm bed, in your own safe home, you can rest too. Let the story of Iron Age Scandinavia fade gently into your dreams. Let yourself drift into peaceful, grateful sleep, knowing that whatever challenges tomorrow brings, you're ready for them. Just like Bjorn and his family. One day at a time. One peaceful night at a time. Sleep well. The last of the grain gets stored 3 weeks later. Every pot is filled, every bundle accounted for. The village has enough, probably enough. You hope it's enough. The chief does a final count, walking from house to house, checking stores, making notes on a piece of bark with charcoal marks. When he's done, he calls one last meeting. We have food for winter, he announces. Not plenty, but enough. If we're careful, if we ration. People nod. Careful, they can do. Rationing, they understand. The new house is finished. The repairs are done. The firewood is stacked. More nods. We did good work, all of us. It's not a celebration, not quite, but there's satisfaction, relief. You made it. The harvest is in. Winter can come now. You're as ready as you'll ever be. That evening, your family shares a better meal than usual. Not fancy, but more food than you'd normally eat. A small celebration. Your mother made bread with some of the fresh grain. The smell fills the long house, warm and comforting. Your little brother gets his own whole piece. He grins ear to ear. Can we have this every day? No, your mother says, but she's smiling. Your father is relaxed tonight. Actually relaxed. You've never seen him like this. The tension he's been carrying for months is gone. Just gone. We made it, he says quietly to your mother. We did. They share a look, a moment, years of surviving together, of fighting together, of making it work against all the odds. You get it now. What they've been doing all along. The work, the worry, the endless preparation. They've been keeping you alive, you and your siblings, keeping the family going, making sure there's food and shelter and warmth. It's everything. The whole point. You look around the long house, at the pots of grain along the walls, at the dried meat hanging from the rafters, at the stack of firewood, at the tools carefully stored, at the family sitting together. This is wealth, real wealth, not gold or silver, just this. Food and shelter and family. Everything else is just details. The fire burns bright tonight. Your father isn't worried about using extra wood. The stack outside is huge, enough for the whole winter, more than enough. The smoke rises through the thatched roof like always. You barely notice it anymore. It's just part of the air you breathe. Your sister is weaving at the loom. She's gotten good. The cloth she's making is even and tight. She'll make a good wife someday. Know all the skills she needs. Your little brother is playing with his wooden toys. A horse, a boat your father carved last winter, a little wooden warrior. He makes them fight. The warrior rides the horse into battle, conquers the boat, saves the day. He's 5. War is still a game to him. You remember when it was a game to you too, not that long ago, before the training, before understanding what those weapons are actually before growing up. Your father looks at you across the fire. You did good work this harvest. Real work. You nod. Don't know what to say. Next year, you'll do more, learn more. By the time you're 16, you'll know everything. How to farm, how to fight, how to build, how to survive. Will that be enough? You ask. He considers the question. It'll have to be. Fair answer. Outside, the evening sky is red again. Deep red and orange. The colour of fire spreading across the horizon. The old people were right. The weather did change. Autumn is here. Crisp air, shorter days. The leaves on the trees are starting to turn. Soon it'll be winter, but you're ready. The village is ready. Let it come. Your mother tells a story while she works about when she was young, about meeting your father at a harvest gathering in another village. He was terrible at dancing, she says. Still am, your father admits. But he could work. I saw him hauling timber all day without stopping. I thought, now there's a man who gets things done. Romantic, you say. They both laugh. Real laughs. Warm and genuine. Romance is nice, your mother says, but survival is better. Your father keeps us alive. That's worth more than pretty words. Your father looks pleased, embarrassed but pleased. These are the moments that matter, not the big dramatic ones. Just this: family, fire, home. The village is quiet tonight, work is done, everyone is resting, enjoying the brief pause before winter hits. You can hear someone singing in another long house, a woman's voice, an old song about the sea, about ships and sailors and coming home. The melody drifts through the village, soft and haunting and beautiful. Your sister stops weaving to listen. Your brother stops playing. Even your parents pause, just listening, just being. The song ends. The village settles back into quiet. Just the wind, just the fires, just life. You think about everything that's happened, the grinding grain, the forest gathering, the marketplace, the training, the harvest, the bog, weeks and weeks of work, of learning, of surviving. You're different now, stronger, harder, more capable. You've learned what it really takes to live. What people had to do for thousands of years just to make it through another day. No grocery stores, no hospitals, no safety nets, just work, just skill, just community. Just fighting like hell to stay alive. Your soft bed back home seems like another world now, another life, so easy, so comfortable, so safe. You've got electricity, running water, heat at the touch of a button, food whenever you want it, medicine, doctors, police. All the things that make life not just survivable, but comfortable. These people had none of that. They had their hands, their knowledge, each other. And somehow they made it work. For generation after generation, surviving, adapting, passing down everything they learned. You're grateful. For the first time, really grateful for everything you have, everything you take for granted. The warmth of your home, the safety of your world, the ease of your life. All of it built on the backs of people like this. People who worked themselves to exhaustion just to see another spring. Your father adds wood to the fire one last time. The flames leap up bright and warm. Time for sleep, your mother says gently. Your siblings settle into their straw piles. Your parents lie down on theirs. You find your spot. The familiar scratchy straw, the sheepskin that smells like animal, the smoky air that burns your throat just a little, but it's home. It's safe. It's enough. The fire crackles, the smoke drifts, the village breathes around you. 40 people, all surviving together, all making it work, all protecting each other. That's the real secret. Community. Nobody survives alone here. You need each other. Depend on each other. Fight for each other. You're part of something bigger than yourself. Part of a chain stretching back centuries. Part of the ongoing struggle to survive, to thrive, to live. Your eyes grow heavy. The work of the day catches up to you. The warmth of the fire, the comfort of family close by. The longhouse stands like a protective shelter over you, over everyone, keeping out the cold, keeping out the dark, keeping everyone safe. The warmth and light from the fireplace keeps the evil spirits at bay, keeps the unknown at a distance, provides comfort in a hard world. Outside, the red evening sky fades to darkness. Stars appear. Cold and distant and beautiful. Tomorrow will bring new work, always new work, but tonight you rest. Tonight you're grateful for the harvest, for your family, for surviving another season, for everything you've learned, everything you've become. You're not the same person who woke up in this longhouse weeks ago. You're stronger now, more capable, more aware of what life really costs. And back in your real bed, in your real time, you'll carry this with you, this understanding, this appreciation, this knowledge of what survival really means. The fire dims to glowing embers. The house grows dark. Sleep pulls at you, heavy and warm and irresistible. Your breathing slows, matches the rhythm of your family around you. All of you breathing together, all of you alive together. The village settles into the night. The watch calls softly, all quiet, all safe, and you drift, let go, float away on the warmth and smoke and comfort of home. Your soft pillow, your warm blanket, your safe room, all waiting for you. But for now, you're here, in the Iron Age, in Scandinavia, 2,000 years ago, living, learning, surviving, one more night, one more breath, one more moment of peace, the straw beneath you, the sheep's skin over you, the smoke in your lungs, the fire in your heart, all of it fading now, fading into sleep, into darkness, into rest. You've earned this peace, this comfort, this moment of safety. You fought for it, worked for it, survived for it, and now you rest. Deep and peaceful, warm and safe. Let the Iron Age fade, let the struggle fade, let everything fade except the warmth and the comfort and the peace. You're safe now, you're home, both homes, both times, both worlds, and you can rest, finally rest. Let your breathing slow and deepen. Let your body relax completely. Let sleep take you wherever it wants to go. The harvest is done. The work is done. Winter can wait. Tonight you sleep deep and dreamless and perfect, warm and safe and loved. Just like you are right now, in your actual bed, in your actual home, in your actual life. So comfortable, so safe, so peaceful. Let yourself drift away now, into sleep, into dreams, into rest. You've earned it. You deserve it. Sleep well.